Welcome to Q&A Selling Online, with answers to questions about creating an online empire, promoting products, or building a brand. Your host, private label and e-commerce entrepreneur, Quinn Amorm.
Welcome back to the show, my friends. Today we have with us Mac Schlesinger. He went from minimum wage warehouse worker to an Amazon tycoon in only a few years. His journey began 10 years ago. He started buying discounted goods from local shopping malls and then selling them online with profit, of course. He has since then started a couple companies, and he is with us here today to tell us his story. Mac, how is it going?
Hi, Gwen. Thanks for having me. Let's have some fun here.
Thanks for being here, Mac. And I apologize if I messed up your last name. It's Schlesinger, correct?
Yeah, listen, it's complicated as it is, so it's fine. I'll accept that.
Where are you from originally, or where's your name from?
So I guess it's a Jewish name because I'm originally from New York, like a specific like a community, and it's a name in community.
Okay, and you started selling on Amazon, or did you start selling elsewhere before Amazon? How did you start?
Yeah, so when I got into the whole e-commerce situation, I started with actually eBay. It wasn't on purpose. It was basically, as I said, about the mall. I went to buy products because I wanted to start something and make some income. So I got all these products, and then I was like, okay, what am I going to do with this? Where am I going to sell it? So back then, like 10 years ago, eBay was pretty hot back then. So yeah. I was like, okay, let's do eBay. So I started on eBay. And I got the hang of, listing products and selling products, shipping and everything, and I got the whole hang of it. And then I was like, okay, what's next? Need to expand, need to do more. So then I found out about different websites. I don't even remember the names. I think it's not even live anymore. But then I went on and on. I tried different things, and then one day I finally got to Amazon. Found out about Amazon, but when I started with Amazon, I didn't know all of this. Like the different options that they have now. So basically I started doing like flipping products from Amazon to eBay. Remember that basically I found good deals on Amazon and sold it on eBay and then shipped it, like drop shipped it basically. And then once I got familiar with Amazon, I started to see, okay, let me build something real. And this is just more like a side hustle. So I started like flipping, like finding deals, like big deals, like a lots, and reselling them on Amazon, like name brand products. And I did that for a while, and then I felt like, okay, it's good, but I need something more. And then somehow I got connected. I got about private label. I think private label was back then like a new trend, so everyone started doing it. So I hopped on the wagon and I went along. So I started private label. I think I took a few courses to learn like everything about China, like importing from China, dealing with Chinese manufacturers and stuff. So I started importing a few products and to test it, and then I follow the process on how to build a brand, like create a brand name, a logo, and design, and everything. So yeah, and back then I did everything myself because I couldn't afford to outsource or hire people. So it was kind of a challenge, and it was an experience, because I learned how to create products, then I had to create a listing, then I had to do the photography. I did everything myself. I did the photography, I did the graphics. So I know everything a little bit, but I wasn't like an expert in any of this back then. So the more I did it, the more I found out that, this is what I'm good at, but I didn't start with that right away. So first I continued running the business like every other Amazon seller. And then at some point I had a friend that he realized that he saw my listing somehow, and he realized that my listings are pretty good. So he said like, maybe he wants to hire me for his company. He had like a huge, like a multi-million-dollar company. Maybe he should hire me for his company. I should optimize all of their listings because they had like crappy listings, and they needed someone to optimize it. So back then I was running the business, but since I didn't have money, it was very hard to like keep it up, like continue ordering products and continue running it, like promoting and advertising and everything. So I was kind of tight financially. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna take the job, and I took the job, and long story short, I went into their company and I ran the whole Amazon account. And after running it for a few months, I realized that, creating listings is really a specialty. I don't really like all the some technical parts about Amazon, like shipping and buying products and everything else. So I was more like in the creative and the marketing side of things. So while I was working there, it's like I had some coworkers, some friends that knew about it, and they left the company and they went to work either for a few of them went to work for themselves, a few of them went to work to other companies, and they all hired me on the side to do their listings for them for them. And I did it on the side while this, and then I realized one day that wait, maybe this can like become like something like a company, because I got so busy with the listings and everything then, and I didn't even focus on my job. And I didn't even like the job, so I was like, okay, maybe it's time to quit and jump into this. I mean, it took a few months till I really got confident, because I wasn't confident in really like dealing with people, because I used to be like very shy and quiet, and I wasn't the type of guy to go out there and promote myself and deal with people, talk with people on the phone all day. So it's kind of a challenge. So I try to do is like sit on my corner and do my thing. But after a while, I realized that the job there's no future in the job, and people like my listings. They want to work with me. So maybe I should push myself and do it. So one day I quit my job, and I started bestseller listers. And this is where we are today.
That's exciting, Max. So tell me, when you quit, were you nervous? Did you think maybe there's a chance that you have to go back, or you knew this is it and I'm going strong from here?
Yes, obviously I was very nervous, and since it took so long until from when I got it taught originally until I did it, I was so nervous in doing it, so that's why I didn't do it for a few months. But by the time I did it, I was already like, okay, you know what, I thought about it for long enough, and now I think it's time to take action. And obviously, I was nervous. I didn't know if it's gonna keep on, like if people are still gonna keep on coming, because I didn't really had experience like running a service type of company, like talking to people, dealing with customers all day. So I wasn't sure like how it's going to pan out, and I really didn't want to have the feeling that I need to go back and take a job and this. So I went in and I hope for the best, and that's why it pushed me so strong to get out there to promote myself, and I went to shows, I went to this and that, Baruch Hashem, it's like
And, when I asked you that, it was for a specific reason, because when I quit, it was too early. Okay, so when I quit the first time, imagine this: you work for somebody else and you're making $5 or $6 grand a month, and that's enough for you to live in wherever town that I was at the time. It's good enough to live. Then when your online income is making a lot more than that, for example, let's say the online income started making $30,000 a month. I thought at the time that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
But when you look at, for every 20,000 that I would make, only 4 were profit, right? So basically, I would have to make 30 just to break even of what I was making before. And what happened was the business started to, it started to starve. I started to starve the business. So I decided to go back, and I was doing everything myself, just like you said. So I started to, get a VA here, get somebody else to do here. And I was doing my job. And then when it was really safe, and when those 30 start to multiply themselves, then is when I officially quit. So it is always, at the time, it wasn't scary. The second time, when I was more comfortable, then I was, more mature about it. But yeah,
you're ready for it. Mm-hmm.
So your Amazon sellers, top bestsellers listings.
Bestseller listers.
Is it all it does is create listings, create the copy for those listings, and optimize listings?
Yeah, so when I started originally with that, like as a freelancer, sort of. And at the time, I built a company, and I started adding services and packages, which is product photography. We have a team of photographers, we have a team of graphic designers. We do the graphic design for the images and the EDC descriptions, the A+ descriptions. And we do now storefront designs. We do all types, everything that relates to Amazon and Amazon listing.
Awesome. And what are your tricks when you get a listing to rank to page 1 what is it that you do? Because, well, I mean, to rank to page one is going to be ranking to page one for a certain keyword, right? You don't get all
Yeah.
at the same time. But what are your tricks to get that?
Yeah, so these days there's not many tricks, because back in the days there used to be a lot of tricks you can do like quickly,
Yeah.
like get it onto the first page. Now it's more legit. So basically the first thing is we create a top-notch listing which has the best SEO keyword, and it has beautiful images and everything. Make sure that the listing is really optimized for the algorithm and for people, like for the conversion, so it has a good conversion rate. So once you have that, then we have certain tactics that boosts up the ranking. So it's a combination of advertising and giveaways. We have a service which is, it's called like it's like a search, find, buy. You know, we have a group of people and they search for the product, they search for the keyword, they find the product, and they buy the product. And it's like a promotion. You know,
Yeah.
you launch a new company in the store, you run a promotion. You want to get it out in the world. So that's what we do, and we help create awareness to the product, and that's how Amazon brings up the ranking quickly.
Very good, very good. And you said that service that you use is like your own. It's like your own service, your own list.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, no, it took a while, but we put it in like a whole list from all over the United States, and people with healthy accounts and people that really want the product. So it's like it's a good network of people.
Gotcha. So do you find that there are some categories now, and it's 2021 right now that we're talking, COVID hasn't gone away. For anybody listening, it's still here at the time of this recording. But Mac, is there some categories that right now are better than others, and some categories that used to be really good that are dying out?
It's interesting because it sounds like it keeps on like going back and forth. For example, in the beginning of COVID, everything was like I think the toys category was very hot, and also the household product. People were staying at home and they couldn't go to the grocery, so all those household products was strong. But now it's more or less back to, it's not completely back to normal, but because in many states, many areas, stores are open, everything is back open. But it's still the toys category and the household category, and obviously all those COVID-related products, the soaps and hand sanitizers and that kind of stuff is still.
Yeah, that definitely had a boost in at least 2020. I don't know if I'm not in that category, so I don't know if right now it's still going strong, but 2020, that was crazy, right?
That was the goal. Mm-hmm.
Gloves, masks, and the sanitizer. That was insane. So you also use human psychology, which is something that I'm fascinated about, is the human mind and what makes people convert and everything. I even interviewed the ex-head of the FBI that was in charge of the human behavior department. And I interviewed him, and I have a 1-hour interview where we talked about a lot of the things that what gets somebody to actually trust you and buy from you. So you use that as well, human psychology, in your listings. Can you explain what exactly that is and like what do you do?
Yeah, so we try to use mostly, I mean, obviously it's a combination of psychology, like SEO and the writing. So basically the writing side of things is basically, we try to aim more towards the human psychology, because after all, you're selling to humans, and they are the ones that are on Amazon looking for your products, and they are the ones that make the decision to buy or not. And I personally, I'm more like an emotional type of person. I'm not so analytical or that kind of stuff. So when I write something, when I do something, I do it more like people, you know. So that was a little challenge when I needed to hire people, because I needed to hire the right people, the right writers and designers and everything that should take over my personal touch. So we try to focus on, like, when someone reads our listing, they should feel like the person talking, like a salesperson talking to them and convince them to buy the product. It's not like the professional type of, I mean, obviously it's professional, but it's not like you're writing like it was typed by a computer. It's very human.
I agree 100%, because I'm a seller, but at the same time I'm a buyer. And when sometimes I read a listing that I can see it was done only for the bots, for the algorithm to read, and they don't care about the human being that's actually going to buy the product. So that turns me off. So I try to do the same thing. You know, I know it's a human that's going to buy it, but the algorithms have to find it first. So it has to be a healthy mix. You're absolutely right.
Mhm.
Now, there's one thing I saw on your site, and it was a mention of the big brands having blind spots. Can you explain what blind spots a big brand would have?
The blind spot for the brand. Remind me, which part was it? For the listings or for the?
How we can take advantage of the big brands blind spots?
If you, I'm not sure if you're referring to that, but it's probably the one that people are sometimes afraid of. Let's say competing with the big brands, or let's say that they want to bring in a product and they see there's a big brand dominating the market. They're afraid to get into this. But I think I was referring to basically the big brands when they go on Amazon, they don't do Amazon. I mean, they sell products all over the place, and when it comes to Amazon, they're not really focused. So their listings are not up to par, and the images are not up to par, and they don't really focus on really blowing it up on Amazon. So there's still an opportunity for someone like any private label seller to jump in there and become better than them. I mean, obviously, some big brands are being sold by the name, so they don't really need all this professional listing in order to sell. Because as long as they have their brand name, they're good. But if you have ways to stand out, to make it better and make it different, and have much better listing than them, you can dominate it.
Gotcha. So I do have a little bit of experience in that on the both sides, as the seller side and as the big brand seller. So there is one of my customers, it's not my brand, but it's one of my clients' brands, and it's a very big brand in North America. They're number one in the US and number one in Canada in their market. And the reality is, the listing, when I took over, the listing was not good at all. But the number one search that they had was their own brand name, right? So their brand name had more searches than what the product actually does, right? Which was fantastic. PPC was the easiest thing ever, because we would run ads to our own brand and get a 2% ACOS, which I normally don't get, right? It's always higher than 2% because we're dealing with big numbers. But it's fantastic. But at the same time, I also competed as a seller. I competed, I don't even know if competed is the correct term, but I was going up against Amazon on one of my private label products, where it's not, where we're fighting for the buy box, right? I had a private label, Amazon sold the same product on their own brand, and I could beat Amazon every time because their listing was terrible. And fortunately, when it comes to private label versus private label, they do preference. They give preference to whoever has the highest relevancy, conversion rate and stuff, which was mine. And I know when it comes to sharing the buy box, they don't do the same thing. So that was kind of what you said, because they were big. Somebody else, maybe somebody out of their 100,000 staff wrote a quick listing that had 4 bullet points, and that was, so that was it.
Yeah, that's usually the case.
So I also know that you are working on something brand new. Can you talk about it yet?
Oh, I told you about it?
Yeah, a new company.
Okay, yeah. So that's basically, it's a new company, it's a new type of service, which is a little bit related to what I'm doing, but it's different. So this type of company is basically, it's more like a manager. It's not like a full account management. It's more like it's like a security type of service for Amazon sellers. Because I know Amazon sellers, they're busy with products, bringing in products, selling products, and unfortunately, they have to be busy sometimes days or weeks because Amazon decided to change something on the listings or do something on their account that can cause to close their account, like warnings and compliance issues and that kind of stuff. And so that's why I decided, since I'm dealing a lot with Amazon sellers, I get to hear like all the issues that the sellers are struggling with. So I decided that I'm going to help the sellers by creating a company that's going to manage all of those aspects. So basically, We're gonna charge like a monthly fee according to how big the account is, and we're gonna manage certain aspects on the account. It's gonna be like all those, let's say, we're gonna monitor the account every time a seller is getting like an issue, like a complaint or a warning or everything like similar. We're going to monitor it, so the sellers are going to be aware of it, and we're going to take care of it, make sure that it's being taken care of, so the seller doesn't have to worry about it. And that's part of the account, to keep the account safe. And then there's another side which is specifically for private label sellers, which they have their own listings, and Amazon can, do certain things that can ruin their sales or their account, which is by sometimes suppressing listings or closing listings or changing the category automatically or changing photos. There's certain things that can happen to listings, which sellers are usually unaware of. And sometimes if they're unaware for a few days, it can ruin their account and their sales. So it's not good. So that's why I want to help sellers by offering that service. That you always have like a team of people that always monitor your account, like the specific aspects of the account. So your account and listings are always safe and secure. So you can focus on, bringing in more products, selling products, and focus on the real thing. That's why I'm mentioning it.
That's fascinating. So imagine I have my account and I have, 150 SKUs. You have a login to the account, you check it all the time. If one of my products gets suppressed or suspended, you automatically start working on that and start to get it back online for me. Is that it?
Yeah. And eventually we're going to add more like removing negative seller feedback and voting down negative reviews from the listings, from press page on the listing, like certain things to make sure that your account and listings are always up to par.
Yeah, that is super nice, because you never know. Often, the more products you have, the more frequent it's going to happen that you wake up and one has been suppressed because here I normally don't even tell what categories I'm in or anything like that. But there was one that I can tell you that it was hair clips. Okay, it's like plastic little clips. They look like teeth, and they would go in the hair just so women could put their hair together and hold it with that.
Mm-hmm.
So one day, and that was a good seller, one day when I checked the account, that had been suspended because I required a COA, certificate of analysis, for a dietary supplement category for that product. I mean, this is not a dietary supplement. This is not, it is a hair clip.
Mm-hmm.
And I submitted an appeal, and the first time that I submitted an appeal, it was refused. They told me, no, you need a COA. I'm like, are you serious? And it was, of course, one of those copy and paste answers. But it ended up being easy to fix after somebody actually read what was happening. But it's always frustrating and time consuming. So that would be a service that I would definitely take, right?
Yeah, so it's also, for example, I have a client that is busy now. He's launching a new brand, and he's bringing in more products. He's developing products and all of that. And lately, he messaged me because he received like a warning, some kind of compliance issue, which doesn't even make sense. It's not even like and now he has to be busy with that and move the focus to that instead of like growing his company and like building his brand and stuff. So it felt so bad. Like, this is not what you're supposed to do as a seller. So I feel like hopefully we can offer that. So to find a solution, it's basically to give peace of mind to sellers. They don't have to be busy with all this issues.
Yeah, you know what? I know it's not really relevant to the conversation, but I want to tell you the most ridiculous suspension that I had once, and it was actually this year. It was 2021, and it was a kid's product, and it was basically something to track the kids' duties. If you have a child and you want them to be, you want them to make their bed, or you want them to brush their teeth, or whatever it is that you want to do to keep track of them and be rewarded for that.
Right.
So on that listing, it had the keywords kid, work, tasks, right? Like making the bed is a task. It's not like you putting them to work. But Amazon suspended me for I may mess up the term, but it was something like child abuse, because I was telling them to put children to work. you know, brushing your teeth is not putting somebody to work, or, you know. So that was actually scary, scary because of the wording that they said. And at the same time, it was super funny because, like, what? Are you serious? But they did the same day. They ended up fixing that the same day, but no apologies or anything. But it was kind of ridiculous, you know. But those things do happen. They happen all the time.
Yeah, and I hear this all the time because people come to me. People know that I do Amazon on there. You know, they don't know exactly what I do. So it's kind of, you know, with all types of issues. So I get to hear this. It's like so mind-boggling. Like, it doesn't even make sense.
Mac, so for everybody listening us, if they want some listings done by you, or if they were curious about your new service, where would they go to find out about you?
So for the listing services, I have the website. It's bestsellerlisters.com. That's the website. And then the best way to contact me is on WhatsApp. Whoever has WhatsApp, the best, you know, this is the fastest to get a response. And the number is 845-288-1740. That's my WhatsApp. You can send me a WhatsApp anytime, and I will respond usually within the next few minutes, an hour, and the time. And yeah, so it's usually either the website or WhatsApp or on LinkedIn. You know, Mac Schlesinger on LinkedIn.
All right, I'll have those on the show notes. And Mac, do you mind repeating the number again for those that are listening so they don't have to rewind? 845
845-288-1740.
Got it. Okay, that will be on the show notes as well.
And by the way, one more thing, if you connect with me on WhatsApp, I usually I'm active on WhatsApp status. If you're familiar, WhatsApp status has this, so I usually post over there like the latest news and updates about Amazon, so Amazon sellers can stay up to date with the latest news and tips and tricks and ideas, and they can see the things that we do in our company. So
nice.
Yeah.
I heard about that by Scott Needham, CEO of Buy Boxer. Mm-hmm. So it was you that was doing that. You were posting. Yeah. That is cool. Okay, I have to check that out because I heard him talk about it, but I wasn't sure what it is because I'm not big on WhatsApp. But I'll definitely look into it. Mac, thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you here, and of course, we have to stay in touch.
Yeah, same here. Thank you for having me. It was a great conversation, and let's stay in touch.
Thank you.